Homeschool week 4. I totally missed that on Monday. Totally missed it. Actually, totally missed most of everything this week. So how's it going? It's going. We've had some major, like, I don't know. I'm gonna try to Instagram. We've just been busy. Did get a new fridge yesterday because last week or 2 weeks ago I came home, it wasn't working. My husband fixed it and it was fixed, and then yesterday it stopped being fixed, and so there went our fridge. So anyways, we got, it's so nice though. It's so pretty. I know, no bells and whistles, no bells and whistles, just, you know, your normal fridge. LED light, kind of new. And then somebody had gifted us a stove that I've been waiting over a year for my husband to move it into the house. Yeah. So while we were moving the fridge, we moved the stove. And then he starts using the stove. He's like, this thing is awesome. I'm like, yeah. And we've had it for a year and haven't used it. How nice is that? My favorite part about it so far is the fact that it's more insulated, so it's not going to get the house as hot. So things that are going on this week for homeschool. Here on Kitty. Kitty's doing a little laundry, because you got to sort and fold constantly to keep up with it. Today's a laundry day. It's Saturday. And the big things are the little kids started their CC this week, and that has been good. Kind of feeling it out as we went. The kids loved it, loved the foundations, and the kids enjoyed, or Lottie enjoyed essentials. Challenge was okay, but I think we just hit the one part in our season at week 3. Everybody was just kind of like there, but their energy was like not depleted, but at the same time, I don't know, nobody could focus. I mean, I almost like lost my mind with them because they were just so kind of deal. And then thankfully, like, yeah, so we've been doing that. But you know, it's been kind of amazing, and my husband loves it. He just loves the fact that the kids are doing such a great job working. And, you know, he sees them productively working constantly. And this is a kind of new thing where they... Would you say that? Come here. Would you say that? Like, the difference using... Oh, stand this way so we don't have the window. And we got good lighting. Okay. So would you say that, like, your workload, you're working all the time now, right?
Yeah. A lot, and the nice part is some of the stuff it's easier to do in the evening. So then dad, who's always like, I don't really know if you've been working unless I see it. It's like, yes.
Well, and then how do you feel about it? Because I mean, the workload's a lot different than before. Before, like, the workload was pretty darn light but effective.
Now it's a lot to do. You have to be able to think and plan how you're going to get it done.
But is it hard to do?
It's not hard. It's just a lot to do.
Unless you're talking about photography.
Don't ever remind me.
She does not like photography at all. Drawing is not her thing.
I didn't even finish yesterday's.
Hey, come, wait, don't leave yet. But how do you feel? Do you feel like all of the time you're spending doing the schoolwork, do you feel like it's productive? Like, do you feel like it's productive for your brain?
Yes.
How?
I don't really know. More, it's like every single time I do something, even once I hit the 3-minute mark, my head just starts pounding and hurting because everything is making waves and going through my head, even the things that I already learned. In my Latin, I probably know most of my vocabulary words, but I just have to go and double check everything because I'm scared I'm mixing them up.
What about how do you like having me as your your tutor?
I don't know.
I don't make you miserable?
Not really.
All right, thank you. So there you go. One of the things I did for my foundations kids, do we know where Lottie and Addie's books are? I know, the house is kind of a mess. So here they are. So one of the things I've done for them, because I don't really want to assign work, that's not really who I am as a mom, to sign just unjust work. So, well, this isn't it. I bet this is one. No, that's not it. Do we know? I have these. I got these at Target. Do you know where they are? I don't know where Addie's is. Addie's is phenomenal. But I got these at Target. So I got them for the brain books for the challenge kids, for a place to brain dump and take notes. So what I've had them do, oh, do we know where the flip books are? I have the flip books. Do you know where her flip book should probably be in there? Sorry. So
yep, it is.
I have them drawing them out. So this is the whatchamacallit. Let's see. So this is the flip book. This flip book, I'm gonna put it up there. Can you see it? See right down there, KLECKRONE. So on CC Connect, she has them and they're JPEGs, and you can print them as 4x6s. I just printed them on cardstock. And then there's the map they're learning. And here is all the parts that they're learning for week 1. And I actually found this at the Dollar Tree. So this just didn't cost that much. So anyway, so every day I have them drawing a map freehand. So I'll show you, like, this is one of her nicer ones. This is my 8-year-old's freehand. My 13-year-old could not draw this freehanded. It's kind of funny. And so she keeps drawing. And then the other thing that we do is, you know how they do timeline? This is my timeline. Anyways, I know I'm singing timeline songs. I have the timeline in here. I have to tell you, huge thank you to Sodbuster. I'm going to put a link to her channel. She actually sent me these already in the binder. I had, before I even thought I would do CC, she was like, I know, would you want these? I'm like, sure, why not? So in there are the cards. And so they have like, so they're like memorizing. That's the one thing about CC is like foundations, they're memorizing these cards in order kind of deal. And so then on the back of the card has all the information. So one of the things I have them do is they have to pick one of the cards, draw the picture, write like a couple sentences about it. So I like it. It's making them observant, you know. So this was Addie's work this week. Then this was her latest map kind of deal. So, you know, we keep going. I mean, in all reality, that map is really helping her memorize where the places are. And it's nice because it's very constructive on what we're doing. I think I finally have Addie's like school down. So that's what they do. Orville, I give him just a piece of paper. I finally got him a blank one so that he can kind of color. He draws lines, but he's so into it. Like my 5-year-old, he just wants to do the songs and stuff. Well, my husband and I were talking about him because I'm doing ACE off and on with him for kindergarten. But the problem that's running into is his speech, you know, his speech is there. And we're doing good, except sometimes I don't have the time to sit with him. Well, we've decided to start, actually, instead of focusing on phonics, is to do the other method of sight words. Which is funny, because if you know me, I'm not a big sight word proponent because I got messed up by being sight word trained. And being sight word trained made reading a very difficult task for me. So I'm so anti-sight word. But looking back when I had to deal with Bubba, I should have sight word trained him for a year or two and then phonetically trained him. So I have a feeling what we're going to end up doing is doing sight word training with Orville for the next 1.5 to 2 years. Yeah. And then at that point, hopefully speech is right and we got his speech better, and then we'll begin the phonetic lessons, because I think they'll hold stronger then instead of earlier. So that's what we're doing, and then that will get him a free part. So one of the ways I'm doing that is I've ordered him a couple of books. I have a book actually, it's in the mailbox now, and I'll do a whole thing of like why and what made me decide to do it. And I'm going to say another card I'm going to put up is Our Home. and she did like a whole history of the Dick and Jane books and the sight word. So I love donpotter.net, and that's like, he has done amazing research. I'm gonna put a link below for his website, and he's done like amazing research about like the case for phonics and the detriment of sight words. But I'll say I love the research that our home did. She was phenomenal, because it really, for the first time, really made some really hardcore sense of doing the sight word training for a year or two, and then beginning the phonetics. So then they're off and running in the whole 9 yards. So we're working on that. I'm using actually I'm kind of using the easy peasy method, but I'll tell you all about that in another video, because I don't want to turn that into this. But I did get, this is the way I do my kitchen. See, everything step stools. So this was my $2.50 salt box. You like that? So to be writing. And so, you know, dollar store container, and one tube, the big, you know, the regular salt stuff. We're not doing Himalayan salt here for this. No. So half of the container here, half of the container there, $2.50. They're up here because I don't want salt all over my house, kind of deal. And then I'm having fun. I actually elude latani disi non potest as a challenge. I'm challenging my kids. This has nothing to do with challenge. I'm challenging my kids here at the house, like, could you figure out what it says? It's totally above them, but I think that they could kind of figure it out if they do their research. Oh, somebody's hot and burning up. Look at her. Whew. It's a work day today, and it's Florida and it's hot. This week we're doing bow ditch because we start discussing this Tuesday. I still got to read it. I haven't read it. I finally was able to get some studying done. I'm still working through that. I haven't gotten through all the disciplines, but I hope to be there soon. Because the library that I go to, the college library, is finally back open at night. So it wasn't open because they were in intermission. And then, yeah, I had a whole culture shock because I got all these brand new freshmen, first year college kids up at the junior college, whatever. I still call it junior college. Now they call it like university. But up at the junior college being cool. And I'm just like, oh, I'm so old. And I'm just kind of like, I was one of the first classes here. But anyways, so we had that. So I have that. So I've been doing studying. It's been making me cranky. I feel like I am burning, you know, both ends of my candle. And I just cannot wait to get to November. Whoops, sorry. To November, because then I will have the burden of this test off of my plate. And just for those that are wondering, like, what in the world, this is my husband's idea. So I wasn't supposed to ever take the test again. I failed this test 3 times. This is the 4th time I'm taking it. And he's like, well, there you go. You don't ever have to take it. Well, they changed the rules, and I could take this course and then take it again. So what's different now between then? I don't know. I think I'm just so much better at preparing for it, and I'm more serious about preparing for it because it's so much information, and it's so many areas of engineering, of environmental, from anywhere from solid waste. I'll do a video about it. I will end up doing a video about it, and I'll really explain it to you in the whole 9 yards. So I'm taking this, and I had to re-wake up those parts of my brain that used to be knowledgeable, that felt very much asleep, and now I'm getting into the last 8 weeks. On top of that, before I knew that I was going to do this, I put in a proposal to speak at the National 4-H Conference. It's like the Southeast Regional one, but I guess this year it's the national. It's going to be, it's hosting as the national one. So that's in Rock Eagle in Georgia, and you can still get tickets to go. You should totally go if you're in 4-H, because I'll be there presenting, and you can meet me. So that would be really cool. So I'm speaking at that engagement, and I haven't gotten it together. I mean, I know what I'm going to do, and I'm great under pressure. So I'm trying to do a test run with some volunteers, so then I make sure I get it done. So I'm thinking I'm going to work on it next weekend. And so I have so those are like the bottoms of my candles that I'm burning while I'm doing my homeschool mom stuff. So on top of it, you know, and I'm always trying to like stay healthy, right? Whatever. I'm always trying to stay healthy. But I'm having a hard time exercising because being in a mobile home, you hear that? Like, I can't exercise without shaking the whole house. So, well, and being in a single wide tiny little mobile home, because we're in a tiny single wide mobile home. But, you know, whatever. So it's too hot to walk. I started actually trimming the yard, which is kind of pretty amazing, and it's been really good. But man, it's been beating the tar out of me. I'll work 2 hours, and that's, I've been saying, instead of Leslie Sandstone, because that's who I really like to exercise to, I'm like, I've been doing the Frisker Clippers kind of exercise workout. But I've been working on that, and that's been good. But I have torn my hands and everything up doing it. So that's kind of what I got going on today. Oh, Tansy and I have been discussing keto, and I've been having some issues with my keto. I haven't gone off. I've dabbled in a few carbs here and there, and I get sick, and then I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. But I'm actually doing a fat fast this week, where I'm trying to really make sure I up my fat. So we're gonna do a video on how that turned out. I'll do a whole video on that too. All right, I gotta go trim trees, mow the yard, keep the laundry going, but I'll talk to you later.